Hi, Mrs. Campbell here. I am reporting live from Birch Island, a little island off the coast of Maine. And I've been doing some incredible reading this summer. I hope you have too. And I wanted to tell you about three books that I've recently finished that I think you are going to love. Um, the three books are kind of connected in a way, because they all are fantasy sci-fi books. They have heroes who are all forced to leave their homes in some capacity, and they're all in danger. And they all have to use ingenuity and bravery in order to help save somebody, something. So, um, the first book I want to tell you about is called Sanctuary, and it is an incredible story. Um, it is the story of Valley and her brother, and they have escaped Columbia in a dystopian world. They've escaped Columbia in order to have a better life in the United States. But when they get to the United States, they find out that the United States is not all it has been chalked up to. The United States is now requiring that all citizens are microchipped, so that they can be scanned everywhere they go to make sure they are not illegally in the United States. Because the new president of the United States has declared this is now the law. And they're taking up all of the into labor camps. So this is what Valley faces with her brother. And so they are forced, when terrible things happen to the rest of their family, they are forced to try to go from Vermont all the way to Sanctuary, the name of the book, in California, to get safety. What a story. Oh. The next book I want to tell you about is called Poisoned. And this is more on the fantasy side of the things. This is an adaptation of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, if you ever read that as a kid. But this story takes a modern spin on it for sure. It is the story of Sophie, a soon-to-be queen, or like the queen who is supposed to become queen, and her evil stepmother, who has a hunter carve out her heart so that she will never be queen. But Sophie lives, and Sophie has to save her kingdom. But in order to do that, she has to take on unbelievable challenges. And it is an adventure story like no other. But she has to use all of her ingenuity and bravery and the help of others, to help save her entire kingdom. So, great, great story. The next story I want to tell you about is The Grief Keeper. This is another story about immigrants. This is the story of Marisol, who comes to America from El Salvador. And again, this is a sci-fi story. And when she gets caught, she is forced to have two options. Her first option is that she can give everything up and go back to El Salvador, or she can stay and get involved with this secret study that this scientist is doing, where they will have her connect with this other person, a girl named Ray, and she will have to take in all of Ray's grief to try to alleviate the grief that this girl named Ray, this wealthy daughter of a senator, is feeling. So she becomes the grief keeper, and all of her grief gets transferred to Marisol. Really, really, just this totally unethical way of treating, this teenage girl. But what choice does she have? She's alone and she wants to save her sister. And she's a caring soul who also wants to help this girl named Ray, um, from all the grief that she has. So the story unfolds, and she does agree to this scientific experiment. And I don't want to give too much away, but there is a wonderful friendship that develops. Uh, and the book is just really an interesting look at how far we will go to protect the people that we love. And in fact, all of these books have a little bit of that in them. Sanctuary has got some incredible, that theme runs throughout Sanctuary, because Valley, the main girl character, the entire time is trying to do everything that she can to save her brother and herself. And she goes to extreme measures to protect him. In Poisoned, it's a wider scope, because Sophie is wanting to save an entire kingdom from the evil queen, who does terrible things to the people in the kingdom for her own benefit. And the Grief Keeper has this character who just is so strong. And that's the thing that I think all three of these characters have, is their strength. They're strong characters, and they're able to overcome amazing odds, crazy amazing odds. And the stories are all full of adventure. They are they keep you on the edge of your seat. I think that everyone can relate in some way to these characters. But the other thing that I really like, particularly about Sanctuary and the Grief Keeper, is that both of those stories involve immigrants. And, a lot of our students here at Parkview are immigrants. And so I feel like there's a lot of connections to be made between these characters, and to show how strong these characters are and some of the things that they face. And, particularly in Sanctuary, the book is considered sci-fi, dystopian. However, it's kind of scary in some ways, how close it could be to reality. And it echoes with me with some of the terror that was happening at the border over the last few years, where families were being held in cages and separated from each other. I think that was probably the inspiration for this book, some of the stuff. And it's, again, it's deemed as a dystopian novel, but there's scary truth to be found that's not too far from our own reality. So I would love for you to check out these books. They are amazing titles. I think every one of you would enjoy reading these books. They're really, really exciting and full of adventure. I look forward to talking to you about more books soon. I hope that you are hanging out somewhere exciting and getting all kinds of good relaxation and pleasure reading in. I know I am. I am reading as much as I can possibly read this summer, and just enjoying that time curled up with a good book. So until next time, thanks, and keep on reading.